Like say you get a big audition, the more important you make something is it's pushing you from it. You need to have a process for everything you do. And you need to trust the process that you make and not change the process. You can like make it more efficient. Like you can reduce it and channel it, but you need to have a process for everything you do, because when you put something on a pedestal or you make like, oh, I want to be a series regular, this is a series regular, I need to like change, I need to like really nail this one. You're separating yourself. It's like
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Talent Agent Talk, where we are bringing you real-life stories behind the scenes of film and television, along with educational lessons that come with. I'm your host and talent agent, Jason Lockhart, and today we've got one of my best friends, actually, and a really badass actor,
Yes.
Ben VanderMey.
What's up, dude?
Dude, nice
Good
to have
see
you
man.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, and it's funny because I was like, what do you want to talk about? Because you have so many freaking credits. You know, and some of them I like personally really love, but we decided on Will Trent. Is that right?
Will Trent, man, I feel like for everyone listening, that's going to be the best story for growth for people.
Hell yeah.
Who are coming through the industry. Can I curse? No.
Yeah, you can curse.
Okay.
This is YouTube.
Okay, cool. It's a crazy fucking story, man. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I just remember.
Well, take me to the audition. What do you remember?
Right, so you sent me the audition. It was the top of show for Will Trent. I think I auditioned like 6 or 7 times for the show. I think it was like 10 pages. So I spent like a day on it. And then I was like, I'll just shoot this shit. It's very close to who I am personally. Like it's a ex-NFL player who gets hurt, loses all his good stuff in life, and then like turns into has a hard time in life. And I didn't really, for me in auditions, you know, I hear a lot of people doing like backstories and they're like making all this shit up in their head. And I'm like, that's cool if that works for you. For me personally, if I have a big audition, I give it the amount of time it needs to get, and then I don't give it any more time than that, and I move on. So for me to do that, the fastest is substitution. So if I'm like, all right, how do I relate to this person? Oh, I play football. I got hurt. I had a hard time in life. That's already there. I don't need backstory because I can just substitute my own life. And then I'm like, who's he talking to? Oh, it's this relationship where it's like his buddy effed him over. Who's been in my life that effed me over? Oh, well, let's substitute him and then narrow it down for this audition. Boom, that takes care of all the backstory.
You hear that? 30 seconds of prep.
So you trim the fat real quick. But that's just like my thing. That's what I do. So anyways, did the audition, forgot about it, didn't think anything of it, and then booked this, it was kind of cool. It was through Julie. It was this like Army shoot about the mentality of warfare, how to remain calm, and how to control your breathing. So it was like we were shooting in this like big base, and there's like all these like where they can like light the buildings on fire, you know, like the concrete buildings when it's just like out in the middle of nowhere where they can do the training. So we're shooting out there. So I get to the hotel like a week after the audition, and I get to the hotel and I have like 17 pages of straight monologues, dude. I'm the sergeant like going through all this stuff, and it was a lot. So I get to the hotel like late. I'm like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I'm gonna go check out the bar, see if there's any hotties at the bar, have a beer, and like go to sleep. And then you call me, and you're like, yo, they like you for that role, but since it's such a big role, they might want you to do a callback tomorrow because LA wants to see you.
Zoom.
And I was like, well, I'm getting paid to do this Army thing, bro. And I was like, what time? And then you're like, they want to see you at like 3 o'clock, which is 6 o'clock your time because it was LA time. And I was like, well, the Army's paying me to work till 7:30. And then you were like, well, can you ask them to see if they can work with you? And I was like, honestly, bro, I think you should do that, or I think Julie should do that, because coming from me, I think it'd be more powerful if y'all did it. And you guys were like, okay, yeah, you're fucking right, man. And then you did it. And then they're like, the latest we can go is 7 o'clock. And then I was like, and then so we got them to agree on 7 o'clock. And so the next day I'm out there, we're shooting for like all day, full gear, sweating, dude. And I'm doing like monologue after monologue, and it gets to like 7 o'clock, and we're on top of this roof. And the director's like, I need one more. I'm like, it's 7, bro. You told me 7, dude. You told me 7. I gotta go. He's like, one more. I'm like, all right, cool. Ready? Is it set up? Let's go. We shot it. Did this monologue. I looked at the director. I was like, you get it? He's like, yeah, good. I was like, all right, cool. Grab the other dude off the roof. I'm like, we gotta go, man. We're taking off like bulletproof vests, helmets, radios. We're fully geared up. We run down the ladder off the top of a roof. I had like a little tripod that I set up during lunch in an abandoned warehouse. Turn the light on. I'm sweating. Got mud all over my face. And they're directly on the call already because I'm late. So I was like, so I sat there, man, and I was like, okay, like just pull your shit together. And the first direction that the director gave me, I'll tell you this, when you get a call back online, be prepared for the producers, the directors to try to throw you off. That's the point of a callback, right? Like they're trying to, sometimes they try to give you a note that will see if you can adapt. The whole thing about being a good actor is adaptability.
I agree. Being able to take direction.
Yeah, because if you can't work. And shit changes on set all the time. Script changes all the time. So the first thing he was like, hey man, do this scene, which is a 10-page scene, but do it put a Southern accent on it. Previously, I had no idea that. So I was like, oh, okay, okay. And so I do that. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's forget about the accent. Let's just like do it again. And I did it again. And then this second take, my reader's nose just starts bleeding. he's having a full-on nosebleed, dude. And I'm like trying to act, but my dude is like bleeding, dude. So I was like trying to push through it, and I got through it. And he's like, all right, cool, man, but like be a little more aggressive for this third take. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I do it, and I felt good about it. And he's like, hey, man, for this take, I really want you to let loose and like feel it. Like, don't think about anything else. Just be present and feel it. And I was like, okay. And bro, this has only happened to me like one other time in my acting career, but I was like, okay, give me a second. And this character in the scene is going through a lot of turmoil because his best friend ends up shooting his girlfriend, which is in the end his fault. And I just remember going off camera and going, fuck, as loud as I can, just yelling fuck, like super fucking loud. And then I get back on camera, I'm like, I'm ready. And then we get into it, and dude, like the energy of it, I was like fully so immersed into the scene and this callback to the point where when the scene ended, I couldn't calm down because it triggered
your
me
breath was
personally.
in control.
No, I started hyperventilating and started to cry, and I didn't know how to control myself. And then I thought back to what I've been teaching all this Army stuff all day, how to control your breathing. And the whole point of it is control the controllables. So I pulled myself off camera, and I was like teaching myself, reminding myself of what I just taught the whole Army how to do. And it was so like serendipitous, like shooting this commercial and then having that experience and then having that training actually be spot on for what I needed to do. But then I know that when I feel an audition to the point where I can't let go, which is not what you want to do all the time, but sometimes if it's personal, it takes a while for you to shed that skin and come back into reality, especially if you're dealing with loss and you substitute like I substitute, and it makes it more personal, and you can't always just cut. It's not always like that. So that experience of like, holy shit, I just spent all day talking about controlling your breathing, controlling the controllables, and here I am, like, I needed that. And then when I left the audition, I finally got it together. When I left the audition, I think I texted you. I was like, I'm going to
book this.
Yeah.
Well, you say that after almost every audition.
I do. Yeah,
but I love that about you. You know, I think your confidence, it almost has a sense of humor behind it too, because you have this full confidence, but I don't get any cockiness out of you whatsoever. There's no arrogance. Your confidence has a lot of, humor's the wrong word. I'd say it's more like enthusiasm. You have a lot of enthusiasm in your confidence.
Well, it's like I expect things to come, and I know things are coming, but
you
I don't
work hard for them.
But I don't put expectancy on certain things. I don't make things important. And a lot of actors today, this is a big lesson for me with like through my therapist, and I think everyone should have a therapist. It's more of like a life coach. But the more important you make something, like say you get a big audition, the more important you make something is pushing you from it. you need to have a process for everything you do. And you need to trust the process that you make and not change the process. You can like make it more efficient. Like you can reduce it and channel it, but you need to have a process for everything you do, because when you put something on a pedestal or you make like, oh, I want to be a series regular. This is a series regular. I need to like change. I need to like really nail this one. You're separating yourself. It's like a girl at a bar, you know, like if you're like, oh man, she's out of my league, but I'm going to go for it. You pump yourself up and they can see the desperation.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like, hey man, I've done this, like we got this, like confident, but it's like trusting the preparation, but then using a preparation that works for you into all the things you do. So nothing is important and you can expect something, but you have no expectancy for a certain thing.
Hey, thanks so much for watching Talent Agent Talk. Quick moment of your time, because if you are enjoying this show, I'm guessing it's because you are also an actor and want to be booking, just like we're talking to our guests about. So we have our Improve Your Audition Bootcamp coming up to help you do exactly that. Put together auditions good enough to actually book the job. This is a 2-week boot camp where we bring in casting directors. Some of you will have the chance to have your work critiqued, self-tape, and live Zoom. This is a way for you to not only learn from your peers, but also get self-tape hacks and strategies to make your tape more engaging. This is a 2-week boot camp that's only $37, but there might be a promo in the description to save you a little bit of money there. 6 workshops, 2 weeks, $37 or less if you go to the description. But again, this is our Improve Your Audition Bootcamp. Don't miss your chance to grab your spot so you can maybe be on this show with Jason Lockhart before you know it.
I love that we have all of this recorded because it is gold, man. Like, you're so much deeper and smarter and more complex than I think anyone would ever give you credit for when they just like see you play a role. And I think that your level of intelligence and your willingness to grow as an individual is probably why you have one of the highest booking ratios of any actor I've ever known. You know, like this is a very tough, competitive industry. Probably the most competitive industry in the world to like consistently make over $50,000 a year. It really is. And the way you just laid it out makes so much sense that I hope that people watching take this very seriously, because I think that you might have just changed a bunch of lives with your process and
It's
your,
also like
your authenticity.
Also have developed the process that works for me where I'm now confident in my process, but it's taken 10. You know, I've been working with a coach for 7 years and we have a fucking golden process. And we're even making it tighter and better and more efficient right now. So it's only getting better, but at the point, it's like the only way I got started in my process was failing and learning what doesn't work. So most people are scared to start because of failure, fear of failure. But if you don't start and you don't fail, you're not gonna learn. I would rather have a shoot go like kind of like not well and me learn something big than it go great and me not learn anything.
Well, I also feel like you're going to be learning and probably have, I know you have been learning through some of your successes, because you have some massive successes too. And I can tell that you've learned from them as well, not just the failures.
Yeah, so it's like not even if I fail, it's like if you have a negative thought, I go down to the thought process. I don't go down to like, oh, I flubbed a line here. I'm like, what was I feeling? Was I insecure when I was in my trailer? Was I nervous? How do we fine tune that to make it better next time? It's not even failing. It's like, even if you have a negative thought, you're like, let's note that down. Let's see why we had this thought and see how we can make it better next time.
And that's a choice, because you could let it consume you, but you can choose to be like, I don't want that to happen again. So how?
It's hard work.
Yeah, it is.
It's not an easy fucking job.
You're talking about psychology. You know what I
think
mean?
psychology is a huge part of it. And without psychology, for me, I wouldn't be working as much because, dude, like, I don't know if you noticed, but like a year and a half ago, shit started clicking because I started figuring out how my brain works. And now I feel unstoppable.
Well, I can see just in the level of work you're doing that there's been a lot of growth. And I mean, it was amazing from day one when you came in. I was like, this guy's really like, he's a good looking dude, but he's also got a lot of talent. And I remember like wanting to get you on The Walking Dead because you said you hadn't been reading for it. And I thought, he's perfect for The Walking Dead.
It was like the first week
I know.
we booked that.
We did. Well, you booked that. And all I
Yeah.
did was send some emails. Like, I was like, he could do anything. And I still believe that. And when, you know, like you did that bad CGI gator, I actually truly believe that the acting in that was fantastic by all. Like it was consistently a style that was enjoyable. But like compared to what you're about to, well, what you did in Fight Night,
Yeah, Fight Night's gonna be.
I can't even fathom how strong your role is. He's in the whole season in a massive role, booked right here in Atlanta, and I just know how passionate that character is, and I can't wait to see the arc and the journey that I know you crushed. I just know it because of the level of work and the process. Now I know it's the process that you put yourself through.
It's the process, man. Like, so for anyone, if you're feeling insecure, if you're having doubts, it's another thing. Like, instead of fighting yourself about like, see, I used to like fight myself, be like, why are you insecure? Why do you fear fucking up? And I'm like, I would battle. And now I go on a set and I'm like, oh dude, I have a good chance of fucking up, or I have a good chance of looking stupid. And now I'm like, that's normal. That's how it is every day.
Everybody could fuck up.
So instead of like being resisting, what you resist persists. So I would be like, it's more about accepting and then optimizing through the process of figuring out where you need to optimize. It's like making a game plan. But you got the hard thing about acting is your own self. It's your own business. So for you to optimize your business, you have to fucking care. And a lot of people don't fucking care. They care.
Or they think it's going to come easy.
They think it's just going to fall in your lap. And I'm going to tell you, nothing's going to fall in your lap at all. Unless you do something for it, which you're going to have to do something, but some people do other things. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. So let me ask you, last question, just out of curiosity, and for any fans of yours that might be watching, do you have a dream role? Anything you really like? Man, I just want to play this kind of role.
Actually, the Fight Night role was so. In my coach, I was like, we were thinking about that, and I was like, man, I want to play someone corrupt, intelligent, and manipulative. And Detective Mason was all three of those things. So I feel like I just finished one of the ones that I just was what I wanted, but the one I want next, I've always wanted to low-key rob a bank. so I want to rob a bank in a movie, but like a cool movie like The Town.
Yeah.
Like something like that, like a heist movie with like gangster shit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
I like that. Let's see what we can do, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you've seen any of the other episodes, you know that you get a free car for being here today.
For real.
It won't be like your Porsche that's
Hot Wheels?
outside, but yeah. Go ahead and reach your hand in that
nice.
bag, and without looking, just go ahead and pick one out. A little thank you and a little
Sick.
take home.
Corvette.
Hell
Nice.
yeah. Now you got a Porsche and a Corvette.
Nice, man. Thanks, bro.
Thank you too. I hope that that has some positive energy, goes into your home, and brings back some healthy memories.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Dude, thank you for being here. Thank you to our audience for tuning in. Really trying to do something special here and help people with just education behind the scenes, And that said, if you would like to be a guest on our show and you feel like you've got a really great booking story with a lesson behind it, send it right to us, talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Again, that's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Thanks again, Ben VanderMey.
Yeah, man.
And hope something good happens to all of you today.